Update: am I the butthole for telling my boyfriend he's a bad person? Update: thanks for the rewards. A lot has happened since my original post. I spoke to the manager of the dental practice. I explained that my boyfriend, BF, had been open to me about not paying and that he doesn't plan to. The manager said a letter was already on the way demanding the payment, and if BF fails to pay then court proceedings will begin. He was thankful I called and knew it was their mistake, but was surprised by my BF's attempts to argue with him. That's a good result for now. I didn't plan on telling my BF as I wanted to end it. There's been too many red flags, so I decided I couldn't ever truly trust him, and I didn't want to add fuel to the fire. But before I got to end our relationship in person, I learnt another painful lesson. Recently my BF's laptop broke. This was fine as it was old and he can't work from home anyway. He sells cars, so he's used mine. Earlier this week I'm on my laptop working and go to check my personal emails, except my BF's email was still logged in when I opened the web page. I go to log out but saw the most recent 30 emails were all from the same person, a girl. This was weird, as who emails like that to converse anymore? I know it was an invasion of privacy, but I clicked onto the emails. I deduced this was a girl from his work. They were emailing because her mobile phone was broken, and emailing him from her work email during the day was an easy way for them to still talk. The emails were flirtatious. They mentioned dates they'd been on. He'd clearly been to her house, they spent lunch breaks together, and she thought he was single. The more I read, the more enraged I became. What if I'd never clicked the email? After considering where I could bury him, I decided to remain calm. I called my manager to tell her what I just learned. She's super cool and said to take the afternoon. I then called an emergency locksmith and packed up my BF's stuff. He alternates between staying at mine and his mum's, except for his PS5 I bought for his 25th birthday last month. When this purge of my BF from my life was ready, I text him. I know about S. Our relationship is over, your things are on the doorstep. You must transfer me the money for XYZ. Please don't ever contact me again. And blocked him on everything. 20 minutes later, a barrage of knocks are at my door as he's pleading to be let in to talk about it. I can see him but stay silent where he can't see me. He was on his knees crying, begging, and pleading for me not to leave him. Whether they were crocodile tears or not, my heart ached. After some time he left with his stuff. I felt relief and had a good cry, but I doubt that's the last I'll hear from him. I feel heartbroken, and stupid. An enormous thank you to all those who said his behavior was revealing of his character / what he's capable of. I will apply the same vigilance to future partners. I know this is a dodged bullet, but it hurts like hell. Edit. Just wanted to clarify some things. I kicked him out of my house. I own it. He's never paid anything towards it and has no documentation linking him to my house. He alternates between staying at mine and his mother's, with his mother's being his official and primary residency. Weirdly, some of you were really focused on the fact I kept the PS5. But I paid for it, had the receipts, and it never left my home. I feel like retracting this gift. He's had little over a week as a butthole tax is morally justified after he's been a 5 butthole. I think they'd be very different comments if this was the other way round and he'd just given me an engagement ring and then found out I was cheating not even 2 weeks later. Yeah, it'd be mine under the jurisdiction of a gift, but is it morally right I get to keep the ring? Probably not. Get the sense half of the comments come from the fact the console is a hard find at the moment, but I just pre-ordered it like everyone else who got one. Some are interested in whether I'm selling it. I'm undecided because on top of everything my ex owes me a sizable amount of money, so it depends on whether he decides to be a butthole with a cherry on top and not pay me back. I noted down the email of the girl my ex was cheating with in case I wanted to contact her directly. I was thinking of constructing a message explaining everything and assuring her I'm not bitter towards her. Then it's up to her what she wants to do with that info. Thanks so much for all the supportive messages and comments. I am reading every single one. I'm honestly shocked at the amount of kindness from strangers. Web link. Good for you, girl. He revealed his true colors and you respected yourself enough to believe him. You've had a rough week and it must have been tough, but you should be proud of yourself for how you handled it. Hope it is all uphill from here. He is going to bitterly regret being a cheating, stealing jerk, and you are going to have a beautiful life without him. Sending hugs and best wishes, 30. The ironic thing is that had he not given her serious cause to doubt his character with the tray incident, she might have let his crying and pleading persuade her to forgive the cheating somehow. Cheating is a hard thing to process, and too often the innocent party feels as if they must have done something wrong because otherwise this good person wouldn't have cheated, right? But Op's eyes had already been opened. The ironic thing is that had he not given her serious cause to doubt his character with the Trey incident, she might have let his crying and pleading persuade her to forgive the cheating somehow. Somehow, I think not. Original post seems to have a good set of values from the start. Maybe she would not have come to that conclusion as fast, but I think she would have gotten there even if it was just the relationship cheating. That's a kind of theft and fraud rolled into one, and Original post is both the judge and jury in that domain. She doesn't seem to have been trapped by finances or other domestic subservience, as is the case with many who take back a person who made clear they don't respect the relationship or the person they have one with. If someone shows you how little they really love you, despite all protestations to the contrary, there is no reason you should want to love them back anyway, and no reason to stay trapped under their thumb if you can get out. Original post was in a great position to illustrate this concisely, with no room for misunderstanding or wheedling. There is no reason you should want to love them back anyway, maybe not, but love doesn't need reason in order to exist, and in fact love often clouds reasonable judgment. Plus, people make mistakes and bad calls. We all do at some point and in some way, which is why we talk ourselves into forgiving others who do. The real problem is that not all of us actually learn and grow from our mistakes. The second part is so spot on. As someone who was once cheated on 6 years ago, it still kind of F's me up because there was never a good reason, so I've always defaulted to me being the butthole. Trying to make sense of something senseless tends to be a sad, yet common theme with the person on the other side of it. Glad to see that Original post has some self-respect, dignity and a grounded moral compass. Things sorely lacking in many people when blinded by a relationship. I'm also glad Original post kept the PS5. I had an ex break up with me because he wanted to cheat on me with his coworker. It was a load of BS in my opinion and it hurt like hell. The kicker was he broke up with me the day after I made the car payment. A car that was only in his name because we traded my old one in and my credit was crap. A car he wouldn't have gotten without my help. A car I paid for. I knew I wouldn't see any of the money back and he'd fight me on the car. So I took his 3 seasons of his Game of Thrones to be petty. And took everything else my parents helped give us to furnish the house. Including the oven. I didn't need it. But I sure as hell wasn't going to let him keep it. I took all the crap that was mine. And I had a lot. What hurt the most was he had a condom in his wallet that fell out of his pocket in the driveway. The dude was never into that kind of wildness. So he definitely wanted to cheat. I do hope she told the girl she was a side chick without knowing though. Downhill. Yes, it does hurt like hell. Think of it as surgery to remove a tumor from your life. The incision hurts, but it will heal. Add, thanks for all the awards, everyone. I can't keep track of them all. That's a great way to look at it. As someone who's had a brain tumor, I can say that this analogy can be taken a step further. In some cases, like mine, the tumor is in such a difficult area that going in and doing surgery to remove it isn't enough. Remnants of the tumor remain and continue to grow and cause problems in your life. Sometimes, after the surgery, you have to go and do a few rounds of chemo, and if that doesn't work, radiation. Chemo was definitely worse for me, but you got to stay strong. Yeah, chemo's going to make you feel like you're dying, but you have to remember that it's also saving your life. Radiation might make you lose your hair, but it's keeping this thing from ruining your life. So keep at it. Depending on the type of tumor and where it's at, one surgery can take care of it, or you might be in for the long haul. Regardless, it's infinitely better than living with a tumor. Absolutely perfect analogy, considering that tumor's due to you and not for you. This is a perfect analogy. Especially since eventually the pain will be replaced by being relieved that you cut out the problem to save your life. This is one of the best ways to look at it. Man, I needed you when I was going through my last breakup lol. My guinea pig had surgery this week to remove a tumor. He desperately wants to chew on his stitches but can't because he's wearing a body sock, couldn't keep the cone of shame on him. When he gets frustrated he does what I call the angry butt dance where he hops around in circles and then checks to see if he can get at his stitches yet. My bouncing guinea pig is like ops emotions, and trying to chew the stitches is the urge to let BF back in. Keep your body sock of Will Strong original post and distract yourself with the thought of an angry bouncing guinea pig in this funny web link. Aw, poor little guinea pig. He's such an angry little potato. 8 more day until the stitches come out, sigh. I hope the little guy is okay. I put him back with his cage mate today after he broke out of his hospital pen, and he's less angry. He was missing his buddies. I've always used the analogy of draining an infection. Painful, but so necessary. The epitome of it's going to get worse before it gets better. Great moves by you, Op. You're doing everything I wish I'd done at every bad point in my life. Soak yourself in the knowledge that everything you're doing is 100% justified. Righteous, even. About time he caught a little of what's coming to him. I read this as his ass surgery to remove a tumor from your life. Kind of pissed I reread it to make sure, and was then slightly disappointed. So it's like a butthole to me? It's more like pooping out a great big turd. You need your butthole, you don't need the crap inside it. This, or rather than a dodged bullet, one that has winged you. You are hurt and temporarily down, but you know where it came from, and you won't be anywhere near that, bleep bleep bleepity bleep, again. Remember the pain and anger and hurt, and think long and damn hard about allowing him to wriggle back into your heart again. Oh, brilliant description, thumbs up. This is great because it's the incision for the life-saving surgery that hurts, not the removal of the deadly object. Edit: other people said this, haha, but it's true, it's great. I'm broke but, military medal, silver medal. Forevermore, this will stick with me. Hopefully, I can do this before becoming emotionally invested next time. I have a bad habit of staying much longer than I should. Internal laughing. I'm going to look at my recent breakup like this. Trust me, it works. This parallels so many other people's relationships. So many of us seem to have forgotten that the basis for relationships of any kind is for treating the others in it respectfully. Otherwise, it's not a relationship but something else. Parasitism, or ever predations. Also, we've forgotten that, at its most basic, love is when you care about someone else's well-being more than your own. Pretty obviously, this guy didn't. Add it all together, a mutual love relationship requires all 3 elements. Without all of them, you don't have it. So when it comes down to going through your own version of this scenario, ask yourself, why would I even love someone who shows they are willing to do this to me? Then, you will have your answer. Piggybacking on this to say that the rose-colored glasses are broken. You are seeing his true colors, and they aren't pretty at all. Just think of it as you've passed the deadly part of the surgery. Beautiful analogy. Or cutting off a limb with gangrene. Except he's not as important as a limb. More like an ingrown toenail. What a poignant way to explain it. Also, excellent username. Ending a relationship is never easy, and the fact that you didn't murder him is commendable. I certainly would have. I hope that your healing process is swift, and that you find a more suitable love in the future. Also, I hate to be the person who brought this up, but if you were sexually active with him, and he was cheating, be sure to get yourself tested for STIs just in case. Thank you for your concern. I did think I should go for a test. I'm not sure whether to tell the girl the truth as well, but I really don't want to know the gory details from her. I would tell her, if she thinks that he's single, then she deserves to know what an he is. Then you should go get tested, and she should too. Who knows what else/who else he's been up to? This is true, she doesn't deserve it either. I'll construct an email letting her know and assure her I'm not mad at her, as she didn't know and was probably fed a pack of lies too. I'll definitely be getting a test. Super refreshing to see someone have this mindset. Too often the other woman gets a barrage of hate when she had no idea she was involved with someone who had a partner. I definitely agree with the suggestion of getting tested. This guy has hurt you enough. You don't deserve to have any more suffering because of him, so it's best to know now if there's anything else you need to take care of. Best of luck to you, and well done for getting the hell out of there and knowing your worth. As someone that have been cheated on, I've never understood it. I never had any hard feelings towards the other's guy or was angry at him. He wasn't the one that was betraying my trust. She was. Good call. And I'm glad you're shut of him, you deserve better, and if she didn't know about you, so does she. Ooh, maybe he'll get dumped twice in a week. Original post draft that email. This is the best thing to do. It's uncomfortable, but really important. I've remained friendly with a girl my ex cheating with me on. Complex situation, and it was fine. In this case, you don't even know her, so it's just looking out for another woman. I've also had to have a long talk with a woman whose husband attempted to rape me. That was awful, but it worked out too. We women got to stick together, you know? You've been dealt some bad cards. Also, you are not stupid. Heart decoration. Are we going to get an update on how this turns out? I hadn't considered it, but if that's what people want, I guess I'll have to. And if you don't want to know the details, let her know upfront. Block her if you have to. Could you give us an update on that too? I'm curious to see if she would leave him too. Yes. Please do this. He's cheating on her just like he cheated on you. He deserves to know. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.